Hey Glam Fam, welcome to today's video. We're testing out the very viral and very popular TirTir Cushion Foundation. And yes, it is pronounced TirTir, T-I-R, Trust in Radiance. It started back in 2016 by a Korean influencer, and now this K-beauty brand is blowing up the internet right now. This is #1 seller on Amazon, and it is the #1 selling foundation in Japan. And how do I know that? Because we actually have a Glam Fam sister, Amber, who's half Japanese like myself, and her daughter is living in Japan right now, and she has been raving about this foundation. So hi Avery, if you're watching this, sorry it took me so long to try this foundation. She talked about this well before it blew up on the internet, and now everybody's talking about it. I don't watch a lot of influencers on YouTube. Actually, I don't watch any in the beauty world, but I do know that this is very, very popular on TikTok as well. And I do have 46-year-old aging skin, so we're gonna see how this wears on my fine lines and wrinkles. I have been wearing this for the last couple weeks, and I have a full day wear test on both shades. Plus today, this is my perfect shade, and you will see outdoor footage so you can really see what it looks like in natural daylight. We're gonna go over all the 411 on it, so don't go anywhere. If you're new here, I'm Kristi. I'd love for you to hit that subscribe button. And without further ado, let's get glowing.
Booty bounce on the dance floor.
All right, my beautiful Glam Fam, let's jump right into it. So this has really been taking the internet by storm, and I know there's a lot of big influencers that have been doing videos, especially on TikTok and YouTube, but there's a lot of sponsored content out there. So this is a video where I bought this myself. I had to buy a couple different shades to really nail down the shade, and I know TirTir's been handing it out to a lot of influencers. Even if I was given it in PR, I would always be honest with you guys, and you guys know how incredibly picky I am with foundation. So I started off with 17C, and I want to show you guys the swatch for that and kind of what that shade looks like, and then we'll jump into the details in just a second. I am going to go through all the ingredients and all of that fun stuff, but 17C is a really beautiful color, but unfortunately it was just not the right undertone for me. I like that one as concealer. Now this product really can be used as a concealer and a foundation, as like most cushion foundations. I am a big fan of cushion foundations because you get that full coverage, but there are very few that I like, and a lot of the ones out there, especially the higher end ones, tend to not have a good shade range or good undertones to them. Armani was my #1 best cushion foundation ever made. I absolutely loved that foundation, but I hardly see it on their site anymore. It's not available at Sephora or anything, so I think they kind of went away with that, and mine got old, so I had to throw it away. But that was literally the best cushion foundation and the best shade range. When Amber first told me about this product, her daughter lives in Japan, and she was able to try this out long before it blew up on the internet, and they had been telling me about this for quite some time. So I feel bad because all of a sudden overnight it blew up, and I was like, gosh, I really need to try it. But when she first told me about it, when I went on the Amazon, there wasn't a lot of shades available. Now there's 20 shades available, but back then there wasn't. And I remember right, it said sunscreen in there, but I don't see it now. I know there's titanium dioxide in there in the ingredient list, but that's more for brightening. So you guys tell me if you see it on there, but so far, and I was afraid it was a chemical sunscreen that was gonna break me out. So I kind of avoided it. I had a lot of stuff going on, a lot of stuff to review, Sephora sale, all that stuff. So I kind of put it to the side, and I feel really bad because yeah, this foundation really blew me away. And I actually filmed I filmed this video, and I didn't have good thoughts on it the first time because I wasn't happy with the shade. I think that's where I was with it. So when I got the right shade and I've been testing it out again the last few days, I'm like, okay, I do really like this foundation. It is really beautiful. So I'm gonna refilm it because I really wanna give it the best shot. And I don't wanna give you guys a sponsored video. I want you really, because when something's so viral and you do, even if it's only 20 bucks, hey, 20 bucks is 20 bucks right now. A lot of people are hurting for cash. And even though that's affordable and almost drugstore-like prices, especially when they have a lot of deals. I mean, each one of these shades, unfortunately, are different prices. I don't know why, but anyway, it's never like all the shades are getting a discount. Like the first time I bought it, I had like a 30% off like coupon code. Like you could just check mark it, you know, on Amazon you can do that, but not currently when I bought the 21W. But this one was still a couple dollars cheaper, but we'll touch on that in just a second. And the regular retail price of this is $25. So you get about 0.63 ounces in this product, but you get 18 grams of product. That's quite a bit of product in this cushion foundation. So it ends up being about $1.39 per gram based off the regular price. Now, again, as I mentioned just a second ago, I got this shade for $22.50. Plus I did the 10% off subscribe and save, and that was an immediate 10% off. So I bought it for about 83 cents per gram. Not bad, right, you guys? This is, again, made in Korea, 12-month shelf life, and it's available in 20 shades. And again, I went with, in my perfect shade will be 21W Natural Ivory, but I'll show you guys all of the swatches right there. I don't typically like warm undertones on me because they end up being too orange, but thankfully this was more of a light beige golden yellow undertone, which I like. And I think being an Asian backed brand, and hello, it's National Asian Heritage Month as I'm filming this, that, you know, it's kind of nice to see those type of undertones. But 17C definitely had a little bit more cool undertones. So if you're lighter than me with more cool undertones, I do think 17C is a perfect match, but 21W is definitely my perfect shade. You'll see that it applies really light, but it oxidizes because it does have that titanium dioxide pretty early on in the ingredients. And this is supposed to be more of a brightening foundation, like many K-beauty products and many products in Japan, and Asians tend to like those brightening effects. And I know that because I'm half Japanese. All right, you guys, so this is called the TirTir Mask Fit Red Cushion Foundation. And again, this is Japan's #1 choice for glass skin, long-lasting, lightweight, buildable coverage with a semi-matte finish. You still get some radiance in there, and you guys will see that as I apply it. This non-creasing formula is both sweat-proof and transfer-proof. This is supposed to give you a long-lasting radiance for up to 72 hours. Now, I am not doing a 72-hour wear test, but for my nurses out there and for my ladies that work, or even gentlemen that work long hours, this is going to be a really good foundation because I can attest to that. I wore it for about 15 hours the other day, and it wore beautifully. I like that I was able to give you guys that 2-week feeling of it. I didn't want to just do a video just because it's popular and it's viral. I really wanted to test it out on my mature, sensitive, acne-prone skin and see if it was going to make me break out. And so far, so good. So I'm really excited about that. But this is a very hydrating foundation for being so full coverage, and it does have those skin-friendly ingredients. So let's touch on that full ingredient list because this was not on there when Amber first told me about the foundation. There was no ingredients on there. So we have water as the first ingredient, and then you see titanium dioxide pretty high up there on the list. Remember, anything at the top of the list is the most potent in a product, and titanium dioxide will give you that brightening effect, but just keep in mind with some darker skin tones it can kind of leave a white cast effect. Now I get why it's in there because this is supposed to be more of a brightening foundation, but just be mindful of that. You also see hibiscus in there and red propolis extracts, which is supposed to enhance your skin's elasticity and make your makeup last longer and give you more of that radiant glow. And you also see niacinamide in there for smoothing out. I don't see anything in there that's pore clogging. I'm very happy there's no coconut derivatives in there for someone like me who is very prone to breaking out. And I know a lot of our Glam Fam sisters are either severely allergic to any type of coconut derivatives or coconut oil. And I haven't had any issues breaking out, and I don't see any sunscreen in it. But I remember reading sunscreen when I first saw this product on Amazon months and months ago. So I don't know, maybe I was just saying things. All right, you guys, let's jump into the application. I am going to start off with 17C. So I'll again show you that swatch really fast and let you guys see what that color looks like more in natural daylight outside of my studio so you guys can really see the swatch. And then I'm going to show you guys how I applied that. Now I started off with the same type of base that I did in this video, so I'm not going to review that. I'm just going to show you guys what it looks like being applied. It goes on extremely light, that shade. I mean, it looked like I was literally painting my face in white, but it ended up matching and oxidizing pretty darn good because I'm about to show you the outdoor footage hours later, and you guys will see it actually oxidized into something really nicely. But upon first application, as you guys can see right there, it is extremely light on my skin, and it just wasn't the undertone I wanted for all over my face. This is the shade that I can possibly use during the winter time, and as concealer, it would be really beautiful, because I'm going to show you guys when I do 21W, this actually applies really beautiful as a concealer. But as an all over shade, I just don't think 17C was my shade, and it didn't make me fall in love with the product. By the time I put my Armani contour and bronzing and all of that on, it ended up blending, and by the time it oxidized into my skin, once I put on all my makeup, I was really happy with it. Let's take a look at what 17C looks like outdoors, and you guys can kind of get a good perspective of how it mixed with my natural oils, because remember, all foundations oxidize. This one did oxidize quite a bit, some more than others, but with your natural oils, that's just science. It's going to oxidize a lot or a little. This one did a lot, in my opinion. But once I mixed it in with all my bronzers, it really did wear very nicely. And you guys can see outside, it's not like some dramatic difference as what it looked like when I first applied it. So keep that in mind, please. And then now let's take a look at 21W swatch one more time before we get into the application of that. And that is just more my undertone. I really, really like this shade. I couldn't tell by the swatch. I didn't see any videos. I don't watch other beauty YouTubers reviews, so I don't know what other people are saying, but all I knew was I was just looking at the swatches on Amazon going, I don't know how I'm going to determine this, when I got it, I was like, oh, perfect. It's that good undertone for me. So if you're a twinsy to me, I would definitely lean more towards that. So I started off this look with my Dermatology water cream. As always, I went with my normal base. I'm not going to try something that I'm unfamiliar with and not give it a good chance. So water cream is just gonna give me the most soft, supple skin and the most beautiful base. It's not a primer, it's just a moisturizer from Dermatology, and always get 20% off with that water cream. And then I went in with my NYX Freezy Face just because I love that cooling sensation, and it just really smooths out. You can really just use that as a primer, and it really is such a beautiful, beautiful way to start your makeup. And then I went in with my #1 primer from Dermatology because you guys know I cannot do any look without this trio. It just gives me the best canvas to start with and the most long-lasting makeup ever. So I have to go in with that base. You guys can see that shade in studio. It is really, really beautiful. And I do love the fact that they have that little cushion. I typically just throw these away. I don't really like these type of cushions. They're just not my thing, but this is a really nice one and it presses really nicely. And I applied all of 17C with that sponge. I was impressed. I was really, really impressed. It is really nice if you're on the go and you forgot your tools, or you're just on the go and you need a touch up and you don't wear powder, because I wouldn't put this over powder. I don't know, you can try it, but I probably wouldn't do that. But I personally like to apply these type of cushion foundations with a sponge. For me, that gives you the best application. You're about to see that right now because we took that Dose of Color sponge into that and it soaked up some of the product, but not too much. And then I started in on the other side of the face on my left side, and wow, you guys can see the difference. I really like the way it applies with the sponge. For me, I will only use this little tool for on the go or just if I forget my thing, but I really love it with my sponge. Now, you guys know Dose of Color sponge is the only sponge I use and love. It's just, for me, that texture is like no other. And I know everyone's gonna say, well, there's cheaper sponges out there. This sponge, I buy them in bulk at the end of the year and I just keep them throughout the rest, and they last a long time. They wash beautifully and they just apply like no other. And I don't have any affiliate link with them. You can get them on Amazon though, so I will apply the link there. I do have an Amazon link, but I usually buy them on Dose of Colors when they have a good sale. So I will also give you guys the Dose of Colors website, but it really applied the foundation so effortlessly and so beautiful. It doesn't look cakey. I'm telling you guys, this applies so incredibly beautiful. And let's take a look at it in outside of my studio lights and just natural daylight so you guys can see not set down without concealer. And it just really looks so radiant on my skin. Amber says she gets compliments nonstop when she wears this foundation. And she's gotten all her friends and family onto it. And I'm sorry it took me so long to get on board with it, but you guys know I'm very stubborn. When I don't know ingredients, I need to know ingredients. So I was really happy to see see that on the website on Amazon. And then I went in with a layer for concealer because I wanted to try it out as a concealer, and it really did look beautiful. As you guys can see, it was covering up quite nicely. I just love how effortless this applies. It really, you can get away with it as a concealer. I personally like my concealer a little bit lighter, so I went in with a little bit more Hourglass, just so I can get that little bit of extra. It's just a security blanket for me, but I probably really didn't even need it, but it just, that's just who I am. I mean, let's be honest. I'm extra. And then I went in with my Armani, and I just went in and contoured the face real quick. And for me, that Armani contour just always makes everything better. It just really structures out the face and makes it look so beautiful. So I was testing out the new Surratt highlighters, you guys. I am so impressed by these highlighters. Oh my gosh. I'm going to do a whole separate video on them, but I wanted to show you a little quick sneak peek of them. They are so beautiful. So beautiful. They really give you this gorgeous glow to the skin. And then I tried out the new Danessa Myricks Lowlighters, and that was Unbothered, I want to say is the name of that product. It's so pretty, you guys. I am obsessed with this product. This just launched at Sephora, and it also is available on Danessa Myricks and I think Beautylish as well. But it is a gorgeous shade and a gorgeous formula. It looks really beautiful with Happy, and I'll show you guys that in just a second. But I did go in with that low light, and it just really just brightened up the face. It's so pretty. And then I set down the whole look with my One Size powder. You guys know 2R is just my shade, and the way it just blurs out my under eyes is like no other. It's just so pretty. So I set that down real quick with my Makeup Forever puff, and then I went in with a little bit of my Charlotte Tilbury airbrush powder because yes, you can walk out and this is supposed to wear all day without setting down, but I don't recommend that. I just don't. I just think that's crazy. So I did set it down with my Charlotte Tilbury powder, just a tiny bit on my Sephora puff. And then I went in with my Victoria Beckham bronzer brick in shade 3 because I talked about this recently. I was like, I don't apply it a lot on camera anymore. So I love that bronzer. It's so beautiful. It's that perfect matte finish, and it just has so much buildable, nice pigment to it. It is a gorgeous bronzer. And then I went in with my Armani blush, and you guys know I just love that peachy pink shade. It's really hard to find, but they do have it at Dillard's, so I will put the link below. I'm gonna stock up because I just love that cream blush so much. That's like the perfect shade. It's just so perfect because it's a neutral color. You can wear it with cool tone, warm tone, you can wear it with any look, and it just wears all day. It's so pretty. And then I took my Surratt blush in Parfait, one of my favorite blushes ever made, the best color ever, and it just really blurs out the skin and just gives you this beautiful finish. I just love that blush so much. And then I topped off the look with the Rare Beauty Positive Light in Happy. Oh my gosh, you guys, I'm so obsessed with that powdered blush highlighter. It's kind of a blush highlighter, right? It's so beautiful. It really just brought the look together. As you guys can see, that is how the final look turned out. I was so impressed with this color. I think it was the perfect foundation shade, and you guys will be able to see even now in studio, hours later, how much it just blended in with my neck, like perfectly. It was a perfect match. It was just incredible. It was so pretty. I will have everything I have on in that look right there down in the description box below, my eyeshadow and the lip color. Right now I just have my Polite Society Big Mouth lip gloss in Sweet Mouth, I think it's called. I'll put it right there, and I just have that on because my lipstick didn't wear all day, so that already wore off. But anyway, that was fun, you guys. I am excited to show you guys what this looks like outside, and then I'll come back with my final ratings in just a second, so don't go anywhere. All right, Glam Fam, so we're past a midday check-in, but I do want you guys to be able to see what this looks like before the sun goes down. We have beautiful sunlight right now, and you can really see that color match is perfect. A 21W, if you're a twinsy to me, this is our perfect shade. By the time it mixed with my oils, I know at first it looked a little light when I was applying it, but I'm telling you guys, it mixes with your oils. It does oxidize, but it oxidizes into something really beautiful. I got away with the 17C. I'll show you guys again. I think in the winter time when I'm less, I have a little bit of self tan on right now, but when I'm a little bit more pale or at my natural color, 17C was actually a pretty color. And I'll show you guys again what that one looked like outside. And again, by the time it mixed with my oils, it was actually a really pretty color, and it looked really good as a concealer. So I think this really looks beautiful. If you forgot your concealer and you're out of town and you're like, all I have is this, you can really get away with it. I mean, I added a little bit of the Hourglass in there just for my own personal security purposes, but I think you could get away with it. But I just think this foundation wears even more beautiful throughout the rest of the day. Off and on, I've worn this foundation for the last couple weeks. I haven't broken out yet, and I really wanted to kind of give it a test drive to see, but I am really, really impressed with it, you guys. It looks so beautiful outside. I don't have filler. You can see right here my laugh lines popping through, so you will really see on my 46-year-old skin how this wears. So that's impressive for how much coverage you get. I mean, this is full coverage, but it still looks beautiful. This is definitely one, if you're like getting married or something like that, this is one to consider because this is really beautiful and it's really going to give you that coverage that you may want on your very special day. So I did wanted to review it for you guys, and I wanted you guys to be able to see specifically what it looked like outside, because I think this foundation looks even prettier outside. So I will see you guys back in studio with my final ratings, and thank you so much. See you in a little bit. Don't go anywhere. All right, Glam Fam, back in studio. Let's go over my final thoughts and my rate card. If you're new here, I like to rate all of my products, and at the end I will rank it amongst my other foundations. But first I like to rate the product. And if you're new here, this is kind of a system I do. If you watch me every week and you're like, Kristi, I already know all of this, I'm sorry, but we do have a lot of new subscribers that come on every video. So I like to look at the application. How does it apply? Is it something that is easy to apply? How is the finish and wear on it? How does it look on my skin, and how does it wear all day? The shade range, does it make sense? Will I find a shade in that shade range? And then the packaging, does the packaging make sense? Is it feasible? Is it something I'm gonna waste product? And then I look at whether I'm gonna repurchase the product. And I like to give you guys my final glam score of 25 out of 25 is what we're shooting for, but it doesn't always make it there. So let's touch on the application. As far as application goes, I try to look at how does it apply? Does it apply smoothly? Can I use any tool with this product? And let me tell you guys, it applied so incredibly easy. I mean, it was just any tool will work, and it really gave you just a very smooth application up front. There was no patchiness, there was no skipping, there was no products that lifted once you put things over it, because sometimes that happens. I really think whether you use the applicator that it comes with, I personally, again, like a sponge. With any cushion foundation, I like a sponge. I just think it will apply it the best. Or the Stands Out Beauty Sponge. I didn't have a new one. I had an old one that I had to throw away, but that one also, I talked about it in past videos, that applies cushion foundations so beautifully. But those are my top two choices. And then a brush next. I have tried it with a brush, and it actually applies really nice with the BK Beauty 101. And also my new Rephr BO2 brush, that one applies really nice with this product. But my favorite way is with the sponge. I just love the way it applies. So I'm gonna give application a solid 5 out of 5. As far as the finish and wear goes, so I look at how does it look on my skin? Did it blur out my pores? Did it really look nice and smooth over my fine lines and wrinkles? And then how did it wear? Did it wear all day nicely? Is it a foundation that will only look good in the first couple hours and then forget it beyond that? As far as how it looks on my skin, let's touch on that first. I'll give you guys the percentages right there, as I always do. The quality of this product is impeccable for the price point. I mean, you're looking at a $25 price point at regular price is pretty darn good for the quality you're getting. Made in Korea, has a nice 12-month shelf life on it, and I was really impressed with that. And then as far as like blurring out your skin, I don't think it blurred out my pores, but it covered them, if that makes any sense. And it didn't enhance them. It didn't enhance my texture. The niacinamide does a really nice job of smoothing it out. There was no coconut oil that's gonna negatively impact my skin. I appreciate that. And then I also look at how long did it wear? I mean, is this a product that will wear nicely on my mature aging skin? Over 46, a little bit different from a 20-year-old influencer telling you this is a really good product, or even a 30-year-old influencer. I was really impressed with it. It actually is one of those foundations that actually wore, like I said in the midday check-in, or it was past a midday check-in, but the outdoor check-in, I said it wore even better throughout the day. And I said that on the first check-in as well. Like it really did, no matter the 17C or the 21W, it wore even better throughout the day. And I was really, really impressed by that. As far as the radiance level on this, I would give it, out of 100% of radiance, I would put it on the scale of about 35 to 40%, around that mark right there. And I'll probably have to think about it a little bit more, so it'll be right there. But that's about how radiant the product is. So if you have very oily skin, you don't have to worry that it's going to be too radiant, it's going to look dewy and glowy and too greasy by the end of the day, let's put it that way. But I don't have oily skin, so I can't tell you guys whether or not it's going to hold up on oily skin. You'll probably have to find somebody, another influencer or YouTuber that has oily skin like you, to really give you that you know, that feedback on it. That's smart, because I have more normal to dry skin, so it's not going, I'm better for because I had some very, very dry skin the other day and it wore really nice even on my very dry skin. So that's pretty good for a semi-matte finish. I was impressed with that. So I'm going to give Finish and Wear a solid 5 out of 5. I was really, really impressed. As far as the shade range goes, I found my perfect shade. I think the shade range is absolutely stunning, and the shade that I ended up with is perfect. So for me, it was a 5 out of 5, but I still think, even though 20 shades is a really good shade range for a K-beauty brand, I mean, let's be honest, we're still in a market where there's a lot of mixed people, there's a lot of different undertones, and I think where we struggle the most in shades is people of mixed ethnicities. So for me, I have so many different ethnicities in me. I am not one solid neutral or warm or cool. Like I have so much in me that I'm kind of a mixture of all that. And that's really hard to find. So for me, I always like a nice big shade range, because there's something in between that might work. But sometimes when there's really big shade range, like House Labs or Makeup by Mario had a pretty good shade range, they were terrible for us mixed girls. Absolutely terrible. Absolutely terrible. I was really disappointed in that. But for some reason, they made it work. A cushion foundation that's small. So I think once they expand that even more, I'm going to be even happier with that, because it will be even more inclusive. So for right now, I'm just going to give it a 4 out of 5, because even though I found my perfect shade, somebody else might not find theirs in a 20 shade range. As far as the packaging goes, oh my gosh, that packaging is so pretty. It looks so luxurious for that price point. It was a really nice component. It didn't get messy. I love that you can actually use the applicator that it comes with, and it's great for touch-ups on the go, even though I like to use it with a sponge. It's still like if I forgot my sponge, at least I know I can still get a good application out of it. I like that it has a 12-month shelf life, but that goes more into the quality of the product. It's made in Korea. I mean, just all together, the packaging was absolutely stunning. And I like the fact that some cushion foundations can get really messy, and I don't feel like this one did as much. And I think they're going to have refills available. I see it on some sites, so I will have to look more into that. But all in all, I give packaging a solid 5 out of 5. I was really impressed by it. As far as repurchasing this product, these are the things I look for when I'm looking to repurchase a product. And honestly, this really did end up meeting all of those expectations. The only thing is I don't really know for sure, right? Like I haven't used this for a solid 2 months to tell you guys, yes, this is the best foundation ever to hit the market. This is the world's best foundation. I can't honestly say that to you guys right now, because all I can say is I really, really like it, and I was super impressed by it. And you're going to be actually shocked where I put this in the rankings in just a second. So as far as repurchasing goes, I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5 for right now. I mean, maybe 3 months from now, I say, oh my God, 5 out of 5, and I will, and once I run out of this, I'll probably repurchase this product. So keep that in mind. So we're looking at a total glam score of 23 out of 25. That's pretty darn good, you guys. I have to say that is a really good score for someone like me who is really, really picky with foundations. And I mean, this could raise up to a 25 in no time. Like I just need more time with it. Even though I had 2 weeks with it, that's still not enough time to tell you guys this is the world's best foundation. So I can't with good faith tell you guys that. I don't have that confidence level yet. Not like I did with like the Surratt Dewdrop, where I'm like, no, this is the best foundation. Seriously, it's so good. Like you just know, like at 46 and you've worn foundation long enough, you know if you know, come on, you guys got to tell me. When you find that foundation, you're like, okay, that's the one. So let's go over all of my top foundations. And Maybelline still can't be beat, you guys. That is just still my #1 foundation. It is just literally, it can be built up into something. I wore it to a concert the other night and it wore so beautifully. I had it on all day and all night, and it was just absolutely stunning. Maybelline is still cheaper and it's still the best foundation ever made. Those are all my top foundations right there, and I like to show you guys the shades that I use so you can get a good perspective of what undertones I like, and if you're a twinsy to me or similar skin tones, you can kind of see there. So those are all my top foundations. I'm surprised this came in third, but Surratt is still #2. That Dewdrop foundation is just incredible on my mature skin. So I hope you guys appreciate all of that, and let me know your thoughts. Have you guys picked this up? Have you guys tried it? And I know how Amber feels about it. I know she just can't stop using it, and she doesn't even like liquid foundation, so that's pretty good. And I'm so sorry it took me so long to try this. And Ivory, I'm glad you told us about this a while back before it went viral on the internet, and I hope you guys appreciated that review. So thank you so much for watching. If you're new here, before you go, please remember to hit that subscribe button, click the post notification bell, join our beautiful glam fam. We're here every week, and we just love for you to become part of our family. If you did like this video, please give it a huge thumbs up when you guys hit the like button, and comment below. It really does help push my videos up through the algorithm. You can check out my shorts. I do upload them Monday through Wednesday. Sometimes I pop in some Thursday and Friday ones, and I'm also on Instagram, and I'm also on TikTok, and I will have all the links provided in the description box below. As always, when you guys utilize my affiliate links, it really does help support my channel. And be sure to check out my website, KristiAllure.com, and check out my merch, Glamorous Life Collections, and check out that video next, and I will see you guys on the next one. Love you guys. Bye.
I'm holding on, if almost gone. Someday